So, they say some people don't realize what they have until it's gone. But I say that doesn't mean they're supposed to get it back. The reality is that many of you have experienced, or maybe even going through right now, having a man you once dealt with try to come back into your life, all right? Try to waltz right in, maybe act like nothing ever happened, or it could be various scenarios, but either way, he wants another chance, another opportunity. Now, I know some of you already have the mindset of an ex is always an ex. I'm not revisiting that. And I have to tell you, I don't think that should always be the case. Of course, I think the majority of situations that probably will apply. But for some people, there are things to consider, okay? But we need to, I know a lot of women are sometimes confused or they question, why is this man coming back? And why do so many of them come back? Especially with the mindset of, well, if they were going to come back, why couldn't they get it right the first time, right? And so I want to lay out for you some of the real reasons why men always seem to come back. And let me not say always, but in many situations, they come back. And so one of those reasons is because they realize what they lost. So it kind of speaks to that quote I started with. Some people don't realize what they have until it's gone. And I believe this speaks more to the immature man, the man who has not evolved, the man who does not understand the value of a good woman or how to even properly evaluate a good woman. Now, this will tend to happen, I believe, more as a man is maybe younger, early 20s, maybe mid 20s or whatever. But let's be real. They can be grown and still not be mature. They can be grown and still not understand what a good woman really is. And one of those reasons I have to mention that at least the older guys may not understand and grasp when they have a good woman is because they're still holding on to all their previous bad experiences. And they look at everything through this hurt lens, through this perception of you can't trust a woman, or no woman is ever that good, or no woman ever truly loves you. There's even stuff on the internet saying that, a woman doesn't know how to love like a man does. I don't agree with that. But they say it, and a lot of these men take this information in, and now that causes them to struggle with accepting or understanding when they actually have a good woman. And when it's their own actions sabotaging the situation versus exposing the flaws in the woman. See, they think sometimes when they're testing the woman or pushing certain buttons, that if she reacts a certain way, that's always automatically on her, when it's like, no, you're creating an unnecessary problem. But I digress. We're not going to go too deep into that. That might be a whole different video. But the point is that, yes, for some, it takes them a minute before they realize, dang, I did have a good thing. I did have an amazing woman. And sometimes it takes for the smoke to clear. It takes the reality of losing that woman, because one thing that's kind of hitting my spirit right now, and it kind of goes with the men who take basically bad advice online. So you may have some men, for example, and I plan on making a separate video for the guys to kind of help them avoid doing this. You may have some men who they start to ignore or give their woman less attention because they're being told you need to make her miss you. You need to, don't put her too high on a pedestal, all these different things. Not recognizing that in doing so, you're causing her to feel like you're not serious about the situation, that you're not being intentional, that maybe you're seeing other people, whatever, because hell, let's face it, a lot of women have been through those types of situations. And so there's fear on that end as well. Well, the whole thing blows up, they break up. And what happens is it's not simply a realization now that I had a good woman. It's more so like my plan backfired. My plan that I thought would be helpful to me and helpful to us actually continuing the relationship backfired. And now I'm trying to come back because my goal initially was just to keep you, not lose you. I just followed horrible advice in trying to execute that. Okay. Now, I don't say all these things to simply bring sympathy to the man. I'm saying it to bring clarity to you to understand why some of these men come back, or why they later on realize, oh, I actually had a good woman, And I also want to say in regards to the realizing he had a good woman, I think for some men, they don't know themselves enough to know who truly fits into their life. So again, let's use a younger guy for an example, or a guy in his younger years, because some of the men coming back to you may be for those of you who may be older, they may be further back in your past. For some, it's last year, last month, whatever. But let's just say this was a situation that first happened when you guys were younger, right? And at that time of his life, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know the stability that he needs. And he thinks it's about having a fun girl or this, that, and the other, right? And so that causes him to not understand, no, but you have a good woman that you need to nurture. And this is what you're going to need in the long run. This is what's sustainable. This other type of woman that you're seeking out is going to be more temporary for you. And you're going to end up growing out of that. But he doesn't grasp that all the time. Now, that doesn't happen to every guy, of course, but to some guys, that is part of their process of growing up and figuring some things out. But at the end of the day, it all boils down to he realized he had a good thing and he's trying to get it back. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. So, they say some people don't realize what they have until it's gone. But I say that doesn't mean they're supposed to get it back. The reality is that many of you have experienced, or maybe even going through right now,